Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now, I'm sorry I didn't post yesterday. I was planning to, but stuff happened. I was busy that day. So, yeah. Anyways, back to the story. Please do like and subscribe. We're doing pretty well, but I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, which I bet you guys can help me do. And yeah, with that, I don't want to waste you guys' time too much. Let's get right into this what if. So last time we left off, Kakashi just told them about the bell test, and everybody was getting ready to, do the bell test. Well, actually, they didn't know it was the bell test. They were just heading to training grounds expecting whatever they were expecting. The next day, the team met at the training grounds and started waiting for Kakashi. Although it took a while, Kakashi did finally arrive, and he explained the rules of the bell test, stating that there were 2 bells and they had to go get them. Naruto was taking a moment to think and strategize as Kakashi just said, "Go, go, go, what are you waiting for?" And Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura all ran into the forest and decided to hide. Naruto from the bushes analyzed his opponent and decided that he would have to go full power to defeat him and that he would only have one chance. So after coming up with a plan, he went up to Sasuke and Sakura and explained to them that they would have to work together to get the bells. Now, as you may have guessed, Sasuke immediately turned down the offer, saying that he had to do it on his own and that he didn't need his help, but he was doing all this stuff where he's like, "I will prove that I am stronger than Itachi by passing this by myself." But this was all part of Naruto's plan. He was expecting this. So Naruto and Sakura both started running at Kakashi from opposite directions as they both came in with a full strength punch. And this caught Kakashi off guard. He's like, good. Seems they're using teamwork. But where's Sasuke? And he was just thinking this as they just both punched at Kakashi, with Kakashi dodging out of the way with almost complete ease. Now Kakashi is making some distance between them as Naruto immediately goes in with a fireball jutsu. Now Kakashi creates a mud wall and ends up blocking this jutsu. But in the meantime, Sakura was already coming in from behind Kakashi as Kakashi and Sakura started getting into a battle, but Kakashi easily won, putting Sakura under a genjutsu and making her fall to the ground. Now, the instant this happened, Naruto was already behind Kakashi as well, once again trying to kick him, but Kakashi is just too fast for him as he blocks the blow, and Naruto and Kakashi just start having a heated taijutsu battle, and they're just fighting, exchanging blows as Sakura manages to get back up and finally join the battle as they both go in for one strong move at Kakashi. And Kakashi seeing this is like, dang it, I won't be able to dodge, and this is somehow powerful. I'll have to use my full strength, but I'll actually have to concentrate to block this, as he extends both hands and barely manages to stop the blows. As seeing this, Sasuke's like, finally, this is my chance, as he runs out from the bushes, catching Kakashi off guard in this state where he's exposed to any other attacks, as he runs in trying to snatch the bells, but it's too late. Kakashi immediately turns around and chops Sasuke on the back, sending him flying back into the ground. And while Kakashi is doing this, Naruto's like, finally, it's my opportunity, as he activates his Sharingan right on time and says, "Swift release, swift strike." And he creates this very fast strike, immediately going in and snatching the bells from Kakashi. And he does this so fast that Kakashi doesn't even notice. Now, you guys might be like, swift release? And yes, I am already giving him swift release, which is a pretty cool kekkei genkai, not gonna lie. It's a combined nature transformation kekkei genkai. And it's super OP because it gives your user like instantaneous speed, right? And you're gonna be seeing swift release a lot because it is so OP for speed. But yeah. Anyways, after that, Naruto grabs both of the bells and he's like, "So, Kakashi, do we pass?" And Kakashi, looking at Naruto, who literally snatched the bells from Kakashi at such incredible speeds that even he, well, without his Sharingan, couldn't like react to. He's like, "Well, I mean, yeah, I guess." As Naruto's like, "Cool, well, I'll see you tomorrow. We're doing missions, right?" As you know, he's just casually talking and, goes out and gives the bells back to Kakashi. And he just walks away as Kakashi's staring at Naruto like, who on earth is this kid? Like, how is he so strong? And, after this, Team 7 does become an official team. As, they start doing D-rank missions, doing groceries for villagers, and doing other lame stuff like catching cats. And Naruto, who rightfully gets bored of doing all of this stuff, the next time they meet Hiruzen, demands a higher rank mission. And Hiruzen, not having any other choice but to agree, knowing Naruto's incredible abilities, since Naruto lived with Hiruzen for 1 year longer than in the original, and even though he only lived with Hiruzen until he was 5, by the time he was 5, he was already like Genin level. So Naruto is really strong. And Hiruzen, who knows this, is like, "Yeah, you guys can have a C rank escort mission. Tomorrow you'll have to meet up at the gate, and that is where you will meet Tazuna and escort him to the Land of Waves." And this isn't exactly what Naruto was hoping for, but at least they got to leave the village, so he accepted the mission. And so the next day, they all met up at the, gate of the village as they all headed off. Now, along the way, as they were going to the Land of Waves with Tazuna, they had just met, and Tazuna this time didn't meet them while he was drunk, so there's no stuff that happens there, and they're just walking along, and nobody's talking. It's just they're just walking, and suddenly Naruto walks past a puddle. Now, Naruto, in this what if, being the actually pretty smart person that he is, notices this puddle and kind of just looks at Kakashi, being like, "Yo, did Kakashi notice this?" And Kakashi sees the look that Naruto is giving him, and he just gives that look back, being like, "Yeah, I know what you're talking about." Just gives that reassuring look. And seeing this, Naruto's like, "Okay, good, just checking," in his head. And so with that, they just keep walking on. But Naruto and Kakashi are now on guard. So when the Demon Brothers do eventually end up popping out, Naruto and Kakashi are ready. As Naruto, the instant he sees this, is swift release, swift lotus, as he travels towards one of the Demon Brothers at high velocity, god level speed, not god level, but high speed, and uses that momentum to strike with a kick and sends the target flying into the air. And then Naruto just goes and catches the demon brother, basically just pinning him down and being like, okay, well, I caught this one, as he looks back to see Kakashi, who has dealt with the other one, who is definitely impressed at Naruto's swift release abilities. And I know I'm only making him use swift release at the moment, but don't worry, he'll use other things as well. Just trust me, okay? Now, Naruto and Team 7 continue heading on, as they just keep going and going and going, and suddenly a huge amount of mist and fog starts to appear. And Tazuna's just like, yeah, this is normal. I mean, like, we're going to the hidden mist village. What do you expect? It's in the name. And, Kakashi and the rest of Team 7 hear this and they're like, yeah, that makes sense. But at the same time, they're like, this fog, it just seems a little unnatural, don't you think? And they're just thinking this as Kakashi immediately yells, duck! And a huge blade comes swinging above them, above their heads, as it just lodges itself into the tree. And Naruto turns back to look at what that was, as he realizes it was Zabuza. And Naruto knows Zabuza, because remember, this Naruto is a prodigy genius, and he doesn't know a lot of people, but he's good enough to recognize Zabuza. And Zabuza does his whole speech being like, I'm Zabuza Momochi, demon of the mist. And Kakashi's like, guys, stay back, I'll handle this. And he just runs in straight at Zabuza, as this goes just like in canon, with Zabuza and Kakashi having a taijutsu battle, and then Zabuza trapping Kakashi in a water prison. Now, Naruto just watching from the sidelines is like, wow, Kakashi. People say you've copied like thousands of jutsus, yet you don't have a single jutsu to get yourself out of this predicament. How unfortunate. As, Zabuza's just standing there being like, ha ha ha, look what I've done to your Jonin sensei. As Naruto's like, shut up, you jerk. I don't know, he just says something. He's like, shut up, as suddenly a huge wooden pillar shoots up from underneath Zabuza. And it just hit Zabuza, right? Because, Zabuza's water walking at the moment, standing on the water, and through the water, literally comes a huge wooden pillar and just sends Zabuza flying up into the air. Now, Zabuza, who wasn't expecting this, is like, what was that? Was that wood release? As, it's like, imagine, Zabuza and Kakashi at the same time being like, wood release? This kid has wood release? As Naruto's like, Kakashi, how about you let me deal with it? As he says, swift acceleration 1, and also at the same time activates his Sharingan, which shocks both Kakashi and Sasuke, being like, this guy has a Sharingan. Nah, I'm done. This guy has literally everything. This isn't fair. This is clearly rigged. Which it is. This is rigged because, this is a what if and Naruto's the main character. But Naruto just runs straight in at Zabuza as he lands kick after kick after kick and punching him. It is like not even close. As Zabuza just at this point doesn't know what to do really, because he's just being beat up by a genin. As Naruto's like, idiot. As he's like, storm release, laser beam. As Naruto points out his palm at Zabuza, and a beam shoots out towards Zabuza, basically just creating a hole in Zabuza's around his stomach. And seeing this, is Haku comes in from the trees being like, just immediately picking Zabuza up and being like, I'm a tracking ninja from the Hidden Mist Village. I've come here to retrieve Zabuza. As Naruto and Team 7 buying this whole disguise is like, oh, okay, well then you can take him. And they don't know that Haku is in fact, well, not a tracking ninja, but in fact on Zabuza's side. But they don't have too much time to think about that, because right now they're too busy escorting Tazuna as they head off to Tazuna's house. Now, at Tazuna's house, Naruto and Team 7 mostly just takes their time to rest, because at the time they don't have anything to do and they're just taking some time to rest. And Kakashi, who has overused his Sharingan, also needs to regain his energy, so they're just spending some time in Tazuna's house until, Kakashi recovers enough to walk on. He needs some help walking, but he can walk. As that day, Kakashi is like, okay, I'm gonna teach you guys tree walking. It's not like tree walking, but Kakashi sensei, I already know how to do water walking. As Kakashi's just like, well, you don't have to do it then. As, he goes out with Sakura and Sasuke and teaches them how to do tree walking, as Naruto just does his own training. Now, this goes on for a little bit until Kakashi is fully recovered and, they just go off to the bridge to help Tazuna build it and, well, protect him, because I'm pretty sure that's what they're supposed to do. Now, I literally forgot what I was about to say. Sorry. But back to what we were saying, they're just one day helping Tazuna build the bridge when suddenly a way too familiar fog ends up coming in. And you guys already know what this is. It is literally going to be the it's gonna be Zabuza. Oh my god, anyways, so Zabuza comes in, and this time it's not only Zabuza, but Zabuza is together with Haku. Surprise, surprise. Who could have guessed that? Not us, who already watched Naruto. Doesn't matter. Basically, Sasuke's immediately like, I'll take the tracking ninja, as he runs in. But Haku is actually really powerful. So, as Sasuke runs in, Haku starts just destroying the Sasuke, which really angers Sasuke. As Naruto's like, looks like you need a bit of help, as he says, Swift Acceleration 1, and runs in at Haku, saying, Swift Lotus, as he kicks Haku into the air. And then he ends up saying, Molten Rock, as he uses Lava Release to send balls of molten rock and lava towards Haku, who ends up having to use his Ice Release kekkei genkai to create a huge wall of, ice. And Naruto's like, so that's how he's gonna play it, is it? So, how about I use your own trick against you? And, Haku's just wondering what this kid's talking about, and meanwhile, Zabuza and Kakashi start fighting. But I don't really need to cover that because you guys already know how that fight's gonna go. And Naruto starts running in at Haku, as Haku is currently expecting a number of attacks or something like that, but no. Naruto runs in and says, Demonic Ice Crystal Mirrors, or Demonic Ice Mirrors? Demonic Crystal Mirrors? Whatever Haku's attack is called, as Naruto ends up creating a series of ice mirrors completely surrounding completely surrounding Haku. And Naruto's just like, yeah, you weren't expecting this, were you? As Haku's just like, but how? That's my kekkei genkai. Nobody else should be able to use this. As Naruto's like, well, that's quite unlucky for you, because I have a bit of a special ability. As Naruto turns on his Sharingan and starts going through the mirrors, throwing kunai and shuriken at Haku through all of the mirrors. Now, Haku is just like, what on earth do I do? There's no way I can break through this. Like, I know this jutsu myself, and there's not much I can do except for outspeeding him and trying to get out by defeating him. And, Haku's just thinking this as Naruto starts to resort to using jutsus. As through the mirrors, he starts using wood style, sending pillars of just woods at Haku. And Haku at this point is just like, dang it, can't do anything. As Naruto's like, okay, well, then I'll just have to use this. As he says, storm release, laser circus. As Naruto creates several beams and shoots them at Haku. First, a halo of bright energy spreads around Naruto's hand as this technique starts activating. And then the technique literally encircles Naruto's hands, and the beams are shot outwards at Haku. As this literally, like, Haku tries to dodge it, and he tries to just, like, survive, but whatever Haku tries to do, being stuck in the ice mirrors while being hit by one of the strongest storm-style jutsus, yeah, not real. You don't really have a big chance of survival. As Haku literally gets, like, almost knocked out. As Haku is just completely defeated with nothing else to say. As with, like, the very low amount of energy that he has now says, kill me. I no longer serve a purpose for my master. As Naruto says, well, so be it. As he takes a kunai and kills Haku. At the meantime, this perfectly aligns with Kakashi stabbing his Chidori into Zabuza. So with that, Haku and Zabuza end up dying. Now, after all of this ends up going down, Gato arrives with his men and, all of his mercenaries. But little does he know, he is messing with the wrong people. As Naruto seeing Gato and his men is like, who are you? As he just creates a bunch of those molten rocks, the lava release molten rocks, and just ends up throwing them at the mercenaries. And the mercenaries literally can't do a thing as they start getting destroyed one by one, as Naruto just goes in, completely destroying the mercenaries, and the mercenaries end up like running away, running for their life, just scared of Naruto that much. Now, Gato is the only person who ends up staying, and he's like, you cowards, I'll just defeat them myself. As Naruto, hearing this, just starts laughing and laughing and laughing. As Gato's like, what are you laughing at? Come here and kill me if you can. As Naruto's like, really? Okay. As he just runs in at Gato and says, swift release, swift strike. As this is one of the most basic swift release jutsus, as he literally just punches Gato in the gut, and he gets flung out to another dimension. Not literally, but Gato's gone. Gato's not gonna come back. He's dead. He is literally dead. And with that, the bridge gets named the Great Naruto Bridge, and they end up completing the mission. With that, Team 7 heads back to the village, and they get their rewards for completing the mission, and Kakashi explains to Hiruzen how this was at least a B or A rank mission, and Hiruzen ends up paying them appropriately. Now, as the team leaves the room, Kakashi stays back, as he's like, "Hey, Hiruzen, do you know anything about how Naruto might possibly have, a lot of kekkei genkai?" And Hiruzen's like, "What do you mean?" As Kakashi explains everything, from the wood release, to the ice release, to the lava release, to the swift release, to the Sharingan. Kakashi's like, this kid seems to have almost every single kekkei genkai. I mean, the last thing we need is if he has a Byakugan and Sharingan and somehow manages to combine them. Spoiler alert. Basically, Hiruzen's like, I have no idea what that is. And Kakashi's just like, okay, well, I was just letting you know. As Kakashi heads out to tell the team about the Chunin exams. Unfortunately, this is where I'm going to be having to end off this video. If you want to see another video, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.